Nigeria. I'm not saying the election is foolproof that but yet, to a large extent, people are now be convinced that their votes count.
Yes, we are going.
So
let me ask you this.
Let me
conclude. Brought beavers.
Yes.
What is NPC bringing now?
You can't. Let me land. In the first instance, NPC will have to embark on a vigorous campaign. Enlightenment programs must. The amount he talked about, 500 billion naira, it's not a humongous sum when you talk about, because everything will have been scrutinized. Of course, you cannot not but talk about some people getting super rich from this exercise coming up in April 2023. Yes. Some people will be super rich.
Are you one of them?
I'm a public servant here in Newsroom, and you do not expect me to. So what I'm saying is that there's no way some people will not be super. It will produce some multimillionaires from among Nigerians, but the exercise itself is a worthwhile scheme that in fact we have already what do we call it? We had skipped some years. We were supposed to have had it before now, but because of for one reason or the other, we were unable to have another census as a follow-up to, because it has a time lag.
13 years.
So definitely coming up with this, I don't see the exercise as providing a platform for our money to go down the drain. No, I don't see it that way. If truly we are a nation and we are aspiring to attaining greater heights, definitely we must consistently see to the head count and house enumeration from time to time. But what is important is for Nigerians themselves to be well schooled on the need for us to, all of us, to key into this particular exercise and to know the essence of having accurate, acceptable and credible national population. We must all know, both the literate and illiterates must be carried along so that they know that it is not, we are not out to use this to determine who gets what. We're talking about federal allocation and what have you.
Yes, in the past,
yes.
Let me direct this one to Popola. In the past, people will allege that a particular bribe, there will be multiple counting of same people.
Yes.
On the same spot.
Yes.
And this has drawn the ire of all others. Do you expect a repeat of this?
You see,
especially now that INPC has now come out to tell us that there is a technology in place.
Let me tell you this: the whole population census in Nigeria from 1964 by the indigenous government has been a fraud. Why? If you observe the landmine on which the country has been placed as far as population is concerned, you will see that each time we are planning a population census, that landmine we explode and consume whatever efforts committed into that exercise.
And what is the landmine?
That is the landmine, yes. Now, when you look at the North will have a landmass. You will see that when the British government was going, it is on the basis of landmass that the seats in the National Assembly was centered, not the people. And in any case, when the successive population census in the country, when you see the number or the figure of the north, you will be surprised, because there is no country in the world where those living in the deserts, the population of the deserts, will be higher than those than that of the
people living on the
in the tropical region
area, yes,
where we have the rainfall
and
sunshine, everything. People from history, go and read it from history. I mean from the past. People migrate from Sahara down to the tropical areas where you will have big rivers, sunshine, rainfall, where agriculture is could be easily practiced without much you see. But it is in Nigeria that the population of Sahara deserts will be greater than that, will be outnumber the population in Osun. It is in Nigeria that the population in Kano or Katsina or wherever is higher than that of Lagos and Ibadan, and so on and so forth. You see, and that is this I said that this one cannot even be a departure of what we have been having in the past, unless, and I don't see it happening anyway, unless we can purge ourselves from all these positives, all these fake and manipulating of figures. Good. You can say, okay, in the northern part of in the northern part of the country, we have people who marry up to 6-7 wives. But it is not the number of wives that you marry that suggests or that says determines. Or determines the number of children that you will have. We have in Osun State here, we have people with 10 wives, without 10 children, and we will have one man, one wife with 8. So all this, when I read from newspapers, when I read all this human conjecture, as far as the reason while the population in the Sahara desert or desert is outnumbered, is always outnumbered those in the south here, I always laugh, and it is as a result of our insincerity.
Yeah.
And that insincerity will continue to haunt us. We continue to haunt this country.
We have a very limited time, and we should go to the last topic now because of our time. And the last topic.
Because before we go to the last topic, let me just chip in this: that it is the problem with Nigeria. He has identified it that just as I said earlier on,
yes.
sincerity, lack of patriotism is there, and ignorance is the key word. We are ignorant of what this exercise is
all about
to serve. But one thing
we understand. We understand.
Hello, Mr. Let me learn. You are
the figure. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Let me tell us. It is the problem we have is mutual suspicion.
Not this time around. We are talking of both fields.
Let me tell you something.
We are talking of what is
we
real,
talk about the northerners. So they also talk about us here in the south.
Well, let us bury that.
It is mutual suspicion.
Let's go to the last topic of the day. Fuel can be sold at 170 per liter, 170 naira per liter. That is quoting the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. 170 per liter is impossible. That's what they are saying. And with what we have experiencing now, you see, it has come to a stage where the government will not announce that there's going to be a hike in price of petrol. what we first experience is long queues at filling stations all around.
Scarcity.
Then we begin to have the scarcity. Before we know it, the price has gone up.
I think the problem with us as regards the price of fuel, pump price, is because we are not addressing the issue holistically. I don't think the government is fair by coming out to say that there's no way they can maintain 170 naira per liter as pump price. The government, Abakari was even saying it. Military was saying that 113 naira that they normally sell to marketers at 113 naira, and that government will be paying a subsidy of 290 naira every liter of fuel imported. It's a big shame on Nigeria that we are farmers, we are cultivating yam tuber, and we don't have mortar and pestle to pound, and we will need to take our yam overseas
to Ilobu
to be so pounded. We now import pounded yam.
When we are importing from Ilobu to Iraqi.
Government cannot. This is a big shame on Nigeria, and I don't know why we keep on saying the same thing every now and then. Somebody gave us a promise that by December, Port Harcourt refinery will come on the stream, and we will be able to produce what will be required, at least the amount of fuel we will need in Nigeria here. There seems to be a lot of shady deals with, at least that is anyway, that has been that kind of it's age long as far as the industry is concerned. It's enmeshed in a lot of infractions, and despite the fact that it has been privatized, we discovered that a lot of problems are still endemic in that particular sector. But let me just tell you something. For how long are we going to be singing the same tune? For how long? We need to sing a new song as far as the petroleum, the oil sector is concerned in Nigeria. And the way to go, a number of industrialists were licensed to establish refineries then. They never did. They only got the license, but never established to except Dangote. So what are we saying? Those people are only busy. They have only been busy importing, because they discovered that importation of fuel is more lucrative than even venturing into establishing refineries. So that's why many of them are just, and we discovered that in the past, many were just not even importing, but they were busy collecting subsidies. So the problem with us is that the very government has not even touched the problem at the foundation. It has to, everything has to be done in a way. The problem has to be approached holistically, and we get to the root of the matter.
Do you also believe
it's not sustainable?
Yes. Do you also believe that the government has always been scratching the problem on the surface without actually dealing a blow on what caused the problem and getting it solved?
You see, this government